everyone and welcome back to this channel. Today we've done this amazing, fun, playful, colorful look which complements the popsicle lips. Popsicle lips is something that I did on Tuesday and the video is up already, so if you want to watch how to create summer 2022's latest lip trend, you just have to click here. Now I know there are major changes. This look is not at all what I had worn in that, and I thought just to complement the popsicle lips I needed to improve. So this is like the new and improved version of what I did on Tuesday. So I'm gonna leave that there, but we are here to talk about this look. This look screams summer, screams fun, screams playful, and I can't wait for you guys to try out all of that. I love creative looks like this. I feel like it pushes my boundaries and it'll be so fun if you guys also try to do it. So are you ready to push your boundaries? But before that, don't forget to like the video if you like it, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you enjoy beauty in general. So without any further ado, let's jump onto this video. Let me just quickly go over some stuff because I just washed my hair yesterday and it is out of control. There's so many flyaways and I hate styling my hair over and over because it just damages the hair. So I just put everything in a high pony. And next thing, I'll go over the skincare that I used. Eye cream, the rose ink. I love this. It's working out so well. For face cream, I have the Fresh Rose Deep Hydration Cream, and this is slightly heavier, but I prefer heavier creams because my skin is dry. For sunscreen, I use the Shiseido one. You have to like shake it up. And then I'll just quickly show you a swatch. You can see how runny and liquidy it is, and I like to tap it into my skin as opposed to rubbing it, because I feel like when you rub it in, it might move, or your moisturizer might pill. So I like to just like lightly tap it in. It takes about, I'd say, a minute or two to fully absorb into the skin, but I just like really press it. And usually eventually once you put your makeup on, it's fine. See? Like there's no white cast. And it's super thin, so it actually works pretty well. For my lips, I am going to use this by Beauty Agave Lip Mask. But we're going to move on to color correction first. This is the Bobbi Brown Corrector. I'm just going to apply it around my mouth using my finger. I just feel like using my finger makes it a little more even, like the application. And that's why I prefer it that way. For the color correction under my eyes, I'm going to mix these two correctors. Now this time I feel like the concoction became a little too peachy. So that's why I went in with a beauty blender and even my fingers just to thin out the product where I did not want it. And this is a good tip that I'd even give you. Try not to put the corrector where you don't want it, because then you just have to use extra foundation or concealer to conceal that. For base, I'm going to mix these two. All products, by the way, are listed in the description, so please go ahead and check it out when you want to. I mixed these two mainly because I'm a little more tan than usual, so I mixed more of the Malaga of the NARS Tinted Moisturizer and lesser of the Rare Beauty one. And I applied it on my face with this Real Techniques brush, and I also went ahead and used a beauty blender later. Now, I made a huge skincare mistake the other day. I used too many actives. I used retinol with another acid, and I actually left my skin super irritated. So anyway, just to balance my skin out again, I'm going to not use any actives for at least another week and just take care of the irritation and the redness and the dryness that it has caused. And I even broke out in various places, and I was not having a good skin day today. But, let's make the video. As y'all know, I have two concealers, one to conceal and one to brighten. So this is the conceal shade, and I'm using it with my finger under my eyes just wherever I need it. I like to use my finger because it not only warms the product and lets it thin out a little bit, but I can even control wherever I need more coverage and keep it thin in the areas where I don't need too much. Also, I'm not going to set it right away. I'll give it some time to sit under my eyes. Moving on to the highlight shade, I'm going to use this actually even to prime my lids. Blending it out with this Real Techniques brush, and I'll even go ahead with the Beauty Blender. The Beauty Blender just helps remove any creases that might form. And I'm also going to set this with a loose powder. I'm only going to be setting the entire eyelid and not above the crease. And to set my eyes, I'm going to use my Givenchy Puff with the Peach Perfect powder. Now I'm going to take this Anastasia Beverly Hills palette, and with a brush like this, I'm just going to pack on the shade Raw Sienna from my lash line all the way to my crease. Next, with the Sigma tapered blending brush, I'm just going to go over the edges in windswiping motions. Norvina palette is everything. Anyway, I will be using these two brushes to apply the colors. This one is the MAC 219, and this is mainly to pick up and put on the color. And this is the Morphe Arial A7 brush, and this is to mainly blend the edges. But before that, I'm just going to take this white gold pencil and I'm going to roughly mark where I want the dots to be. And now we move back to the palette. I'm using this shade D5 and I'm carefully just stamping it onto those little white dots that I placed. This is honestly just very random. I mean, you know, the placement. And then I went ahead with the A7 brush and I just started diffusing the edges. Now there were two ways of doing this. I either had to just go in tiny little circles over the entire dot, or I had to lightly feather out the edges of some other dots. This, I guess, just depended on which blended more easier for me. After using the Veromona to switch my color from pink to orange, I started placing the orange color on the dots where I intended to. By the way, before I forget, this is such an amazing look for people who have hooded eyes because, you know, you can kind of place your eyeshadow elsewhere instead of, you know, just focusing it on the lid. And honestly, this works very well for me because it actually takes care of any of the fine lines that are like under my eyes. It kind of conceals that too. This is how it looks done, and now I'm going to use this Makeup Forever pencil in my lower waterline to just brighten things up. Next, I'm using this Gouache Kohl pencil. This is in the shade Espresso. I'm using this to draw in a little wing on my top lid. I chose brown because it gives a far more softer look than, you know, choosing black. And don't forget to use this pencil on your upper waterline too. Cleaning off all that orange color on the Veromona again, which now leaves me with a clean brush, and I'm going to use the same A7 brush just to blend out the wing that I just drew. Blending it out, it just keeps the wing more soft looking, and it just, I don't know, it just like felt so nice. Switching to the Anastasia Beverly Hills Soft Glam palette, I'm going to pick up this gold shade and I'm going to place that in the inner corners of my eyes. This golden shade had a bit of fallout, so a tip for you guys too. If it's one of the lighter shades, you can probably get away with it. You just have to take a clean, fluffy brush and just brush it upwards and try to flick it away from your face. This is the Suva Beauty UV Brights palette. You guys have to check out the names at the back. Those two shades I'm using would be Weirdo and Not Your Problem. Anyway, I'm going to be taking these two on a really tiny thin brush. And I decided to place a pink dot on the pink shadow and an orange dot on the orange shadow. And we're going to now skip to when brows and lashes are done. Since my skin at this point was feeling quite dry, I decided to go in with this Evian facial spray and then just went over my entire face and neck using a beauty blender. This is the LA Girl Pro Conceal in the shade Beautiful Bronze, and I'm just using this as my cream bronzer on the sides of my face and also on the top of my forehead. I went ahead and blended it out with a beauty blender just for it to be a little more seamless.
And then I also took this Sigma brush and I kind of contoured my nose just a tiny bit. For blush, I'm using this beautiful cream bronzer from Tower 28. This is in the shade Magic Hour. It is the perfect fleshy tone pink blush that I own. So I took this across my nose and forehead. I wish it was slightly more intense, like slightly more pink, but it is still an amazing blush. Feel free to go in with a powder bronzer or powder blush if you live in more humid climates. Otherwise, a cream product would probably just slide off if you don't set it properly. These are the 3 products that I used to create the popsicle lips, and the video is going to pop up at the end of this video. Don't forget to watch that. I'm just gonna skip on to the next part. Remember to set your face with a good setting spray. I'm using the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray. And then for a slightly blurring effect on my T-zone, I'm going to use this Makeup Forever Velvet Matte Powder and lightly run it on the top of my forehead, sides of my nose, and even anywhere where I need some light setting.
This is always the final step, you guys, because it just, hides yet shows everything. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? But this is the finished look. How nice does it look? It's so youthful. It screams fun. Your inner child is like screaming in happiness and excitement. So yeah, how do you like it? Do you think it goes really well with the popsicle lips? I think it does, right? Because I love it, honestly. Okay, that's it. Subscribe if you like this. Like the video, it helps with the algorithm. See you guys soon, and bye bye.